Community Chronicles Radio, brought to you weekly by Gannon University's Erie Technology Incubator, in partnership with the Corey Higher Education Council. The Erie Technology Incubator, located at 900 State Street, works in the entrepreneurial ecosystem and provides technical assistance through the entrepreneurial process. This show features members of this ecosystem and the entrepreneurs in the Erie area. Welcome to Community Chronicles Radio. As always, if you would like to give us a call, the number in the studio is 814-679-1080. That's for me, anybody in here, or any of the guests. I am Dr. Matthew Plotz. As we've mentioned in the shows in the past, Steph is still working through her radiation treatments that conflict with the airtime of the program. With that said, I have gotten the chance to work with Steph throughout the weeks. She is in great spirits and definitely winning her fight. It's good to hear. So I'm going to get right to the first guest. We have a lot of stuff to talk to, but before we do, let me just back up and we'll do a couple things. We're at Christmas time, right? This is an exciting time.
We are.
It's hard to believe we kind of lost the first week of December. It's hard to believe that it's already Christmas. I'm not ready.
I'm not ready. I'm always ready. Yeah.
It's just been something, but if you've looked around recently on social media and different places and all the things that are going on in the city of Erie, this first guest will be of interest to you. He is doing some of the bigger things that you see happening downtown, and the downtown seems activated. Even when I come in here at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm frequently amazed at how active everything is. I see people everywhere, and it is a testament to to this guest. It is so impressive how much has happened in a short amount of time, relatively short. I would like to welcome to the show Ryan Hoover, Experienced Director of the Erie Downtown Development Corporation. Welcome, Ryan.
Hey, thanks for being here. See, I'm so tired.
Thank
I'm
you
still
so
trying to figure
much.
it out.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be here. So
You're used to
you.
hosting these types of things.
Thank you for
Yeah.
having me. I'm stoked to be here, man. This is really cool.
All right, so we've seen the things on social media.
Have you?
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
yeah, and you're doing a great job.
Thank
and,
you.
Yes.
I said yesterday, somebody asked me who's on. I'm like, it's Ryan Hoover, and you always seem very happy and energized about the things that you're working on. Tell us some of the things that are going on right now.
I mean, a complete redevelopment and reimagining of downtown Erie is a pretty exciting thing. I remember, this was back when Joel was interviewing me when I first took this role. He kept asking, what is it that you're trying to spark? What is it that's getting you excited about the EDDC? And I kept using the term generational change. And what we mean by that is we're trying to spark change that's going to inspire all new generations of young professionals to move to Erie, to really root themselves here in downtown Erie, live here, support these businesses, reactivate these amazing spaces. And it's just cool to kind of be in the center of all of it. I am certainly not any kind of I'm certainly not any kind of person who's moving pieces around and playing chess. I'm really just kind of following what Drew and the EDDC has set up for us, and he's given me all the support in the world to kind of go wild on social media and get the word out and do things a little differently, because a lot of this has never been done before. So this is an exciting time for all of us, really.
So I want to back up just a little bit, and I was talking with my staff earlier this week when we decided to have you on, and I really appreciate it, but I didn't write this in the script, so it's kind of I didn't want to write it in there. So when you got this job, I was probably the second or third candidate behind you.
Oh my gosh!
No way.
Are you serious? No way.
I had a lengthy discussion with John Persinger.
Oh, John, what a guy! That is wild.
But I can tell you that just looking at everything that you're doing, I'm amazed, and I was like, I would have never been that good. So
Stop it.
They made the right choice.
Well, that's really cool that you told me that. I had no idea. I was I remember, man. I applied for the role. I was in Orlando at the time. I was living down in Orlando and applied for the role, and I was very excited to be able to meet John, Matt, and Nicole, the original EDDC, and it was pretty cool to go through that whole process and get up here
In the warmth.
Yeah. Well, it was funny. There's a funny story. I was actually interviewing in my backyard over Zoom, and it was, for us, a very chilly 67 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I was interviewing in it's probably November or something. And I think there may have been some snow, and Matt Wachter saw me outside, and I must have looked cold, and he's like, "There's no way you are cold right now.
They're
like,
wearing
yeah, man.
shorts.
And they're like, dude, it is like 16 degrees out here. Are you sure you want to come back for this? And I'm like, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So one of the things recently that we kind of connected maybe a little bit on Facebook, social media. You kind of put together the haunted experience in Harbor Creek Township.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit? That was so cool. I live fairly close to Harbor Creek. Took the kids over. What a great experience you put together.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Yeah. So another little passion project that I'm a part of is the Harbor Creek engagement team.
Okay.
And what we do is we program Harbor Creek with all sorts of free events for the community. I'm a Harbor Creek resident myself.
Okay.
I love that township. And so my mom and I, we sort of had this idea about doing like a fall fest. My mom kind of wanted to do she was interested in helping out with the fall fest. It wasn't really her event, but she wanted to help out with this fall fest, and we sort of crammed the two together because I had this idea of wanting to do a haunted house experience in Erie that had never been done before. I really wanted this haunted house to be a storytelling event. I wanted it to be immersive, wanted it to be scary, and I wanted it to be a place where scare actors were part of a show. They were part of a story. Every decision that we made in the haunted house had a reason, but it's a complicated sell to a township who had never done a haunted house to begin with, let alone something this immersive and big. So we kind of crammed the two events together. We had a fall fest during the day. We had the haunted house at night, and I'd say it's going pretty well. I'm pretty excited. I think we're definitely going to do it again for year 3, and for the first 2 years have been very, very fun.
That's awesome.
Thanks for going, by the way.
Absolutely, it was a lot of fun. I took my kids. They're older teenagers now, and they're maybe a little bit harder to scare, but they enjoyed it quite a bit.
That's awesome.
So, do you have an idea of what the third one's going to look like? Is that
to be completely honest with you? No, we have no idea. But normally it's like March, April is when that starts to kind of smooth itself out. So we're probably going to be having discussions with some of the scare actors about what the next story is going to be. So this year we actually did a sequel of last year's confusing. So the first year's haunted house had a sequel, which was part 2. We had that the last Halloween. It was pretty cool. It was very kind of like 80s horror movie, kind of Jason vibes. That was kind of what we were going for. Just very slasher, very tacky, very fun.
Right.
Yeah, it was cool.
The important fun part is that there was a line. There were quite a few people waiting, but it was important to watch the television, the program that starts the whole experience, and that was really part
like
of
a Disney ride.
Yeah.
It was a pre-show.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a pre-show. Yeah.
Is that kind of where that creative thought process comes from?
I don't want to say that necessarily. I mean, pre-shows are very common, but I was, as you probably know, I'm very immersed in that kind of. The experience starts at the line is very much the mentality of what modern theme parks do and what they should do. So you take a little bit of inspiration from that. You're waiting in line. We knew it was a very short haunted house, so we wanted it to begin when you're in line. So
that's awesome.
So one of the things that Disney does is they have like lightning lanes, and these are the lines that you can basically cut everybody in line, get to the front. We went in September, great experience, but that part of it, interestingly. Sometimes when you do that, you miss entire sections of what that story is. Yep. We found that out on the Avatar ride.
Flight Passage?
Yeah.
You skip the whole thing?
You skip basically the whole setup. Yep. And we waited this time. It took a long time to get through. But same goes for Smuggler's Run, single rider. We did single rider for Smuggler's Run. We were all excited. We're like, oh, it's going to be a 5-minute wait. And you completely skip the whole pre-show. You miss the animatronics and you just walk onto the Millennium Falcon with absolutely no clue what you're doing. We were frustrated. It's stupid theme park nerd stuff that we get mad about. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
So funny.
it is weird. Like, Disney has made it so that you stare at your phone instead of like walking around and enjoying everything. Kind of stressful. I didn't like that aspect of it. So.
We did Lightning Lane one time and said, we're good. We won't do this again. Because I don't like feeling like I have to schedule. So anyways, we don't. That's a whole different discussion.
Right, yeah, that's another.
we got off topic just a little bit.
Shocking.
That's all right. So you kind of are in charge of getting the food hall filled, right? All of the people in there. Talk about the Flagship City Food Hall and the types of restaurants that people can find now.
Filled in the sense that we want to fill it with hungry guests.
Right.
That's where that is my responsibility.
A good experience.
And, what we've really learned over the last couple of years is that holiday themed overlays are something very fun. So we started this. We really kind of dipped our toe into this last year for Christmas. And this year for Halloween, I really wanted to make a really strong effort of being intentional about Halloween.
Okay.
So when I approached my team about a Halloween, event, Halloween party. I'm not sure what Drew was thinking I was going to ask him, but I don't think he thought I was going to ask him for money for 42 individually carved pumpkins to be installed throughout the entire food hall as early as July.
Oh my gosh.
We really went pretty crazy with Halloween. So the pumpkins were fun. We went to I think we went to Michael's and just
got
bought
the craft
them.
ones.
Yep, and then we just
Nice.
and I used a hot knife and I designed every single face. We did 42 pumpkins and we just used a hot knife and just carved them.
Mm-hmm.
Had them stored in our office for a couple weeks, and then slowly but surely we started moving them over to the food hall to install them. We had a display up as early as Celebrate Erie, so
Okay.
that all the guests that were coming through Celebrate Erie could see there was some kind of Halloween something going on, but we didn't want to say what. And then we that was really our promotion, were these cool pumpkins, and people were coming in just to see these pumpkins. So the point that I'm getting to is the food hall is more than just a place to get a great bite to eat. It is a place where people hang out. It's a place where you can be immersed. You can meet your friends. You can go see Joel. So we do all these cool little small things, these like the holiday overlays, to really help promote that the food hall is a place for gathering. It's a place for hanging out and meeting your friends, and also you can get a quick bite to eat.
Right.
One of the other projects we did that this, I will admit, this was probably taken right out of the Disney book, but we
I can see that.
we had I had this trash can that was in the middle of the food hall, and one day I threw something away, and I just remember thinking, like, how funny would it be if this thing was like munching on my leftovers. And there are trash cans at Epcot that have been known to do that before.
Right.
I'm not sure if that's still the case, but that for a while there was a talking trash can at Epcot. So I was like, shoot, I could figure this out. This can't be that hard. So funny enough, using the technology that we had for the haunted house, I was able to find a piece of technology from the haunted house and just rework it for a trash can. I even spoke to the guys at the manufacturer that makes these little sensors, and I had them kind of help me figure out how I can fix it. But we have a trash can in the food hall that has a sensor and a speaker, and when it swings open, it plays a sound effect.
That is so cool.
So it's pretty fun. It's a fun little surprise. It's something you would never expect, let alone in downtown Erie at a food hall.
Right.
But yeah, right now we've got a trash can that runs through all sorts of different audio files for Christmas, and
That's fantastic.
it's lots of fun.
Yeah,
It's cool
absolutely.
stuff. So we see kids every now and then. So the
That's what I was gonna ask.
yeah,
you.
the munching actually may have backfired a little because I think it was too scary. It was supposed to be like a like it's a
Right.
monster eating your leftovers. It's cute. It's fun. But I think if you, number one, you're not expecting it, and then it's like, oh my god, like what is this trash
Yeah.
can doing?
Some kid, the trash
Yeah.
can tried to eat my hand.
Yeah.
I think it might have been a little startling. So we turned it down. We put an amplifier on the back of this
Oh my
dang
gosh.
trash can. Like, it was loud. So I didn't realize how loud it was, and yeah. Anyway, so we toned it down. Now it's a lot more friendly. There's like a Santa Claus. And we have like a little Santa's
Cute.
workshop. Go over and check it out. The
Yeah,
only thing that
absolutely.
Yeah.
I do feel really bad for the hospitality team members at the food hall who have to clean the place. And what's really sad is I just realized last week I can put this thing on a stupid timer so it doesn't turn on or turn off. It can turn on and turn off. This thing is on all day long. So the poor people who clean the food hall at like
geez.
1 a.m. when they're getting their when they go to do the bags of trash, it goes off. And I feel so bad. They must hate that thing. But
Right, yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
so it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so talking trash cans, holiday overlays. So yeah, Halloween went well. Trash can's gone great. And then what a weird sentence. And then Christmas was fantastic. So yeah, the themed overlays, right? So you'll see that the work I'm doing is I'm trying to give. I'm really trying to give the kitchens breathing room to do their thing, for Crystal to make ridiculous smoothies, and for Daryl to make his wings and burgers, but have a reason to visit downtown Erie. We've all learned that just having cool
Right.
food is just simply not enough. We need to have a real reason to visit downtown. You can get great food all over this city, but where can you go get great food and have a great experience,
Right.
meet your great friends, and maybe get immersed into a cool, Christmas display? That is really what we need to be really
Yeah, for sure.
focused on.
For sure. So I have a question, just kind of bringing in the entrepreneurial aspect of your job. So because you do a lot with social media, do you have a couple tips? Because that's the one thing we hear from our Beehive clients and our ETI clients is, I'm afraid of social media. Or I don't have time, to do social media. So do you have like a couple quick tips and
Yeah.
advice that you could give our listeners?
I had the same fears about social media. when we first began, we were making these, the EDDC was making these like really elaborate, beautiful bits of video and great content. It's all still out there on YouTube, and you should watch it. It's really, really good stuff. I was very nervous because there's lights and there's a big camera, and you kind of have a script that you have to sort of follow, and I didn't want to feel like I was wasting the videographer's time. So like I was very nervous doing that kind of stuff. So doing social media kind of scared me a little bit, and that was my own fault. So my tip, what I did, and I don't know if it'll work for everyone else, but I just started filming what I'm doing. And this is kind of like the vlogger's mindset, right?
Okay.
So if you ever watch a vlogger, they're just walking and talking in front of a camera. And so number one, that's easy. It's easy to just pick up your camera and start talking. We all have, there's 7 cameras sitting right here on this table. It's easy to get a camera and just start filming what you're doing. And it's even easier to just talk about what you're doing. So the garage videos that have done so well on social media really were born out of a few things, but they were born out of this like, man, like I'm in this rut. I need to talk about this garage. How am I going to talk about a garage on social media that's fun? So I literally just started driving my car into the garage, flipping my camera on. I'm like, okay, well, I parked in the garage, and I'm walking to the stairs. I'm walking to the elevator. I'm walking to the shops, and that just kind of evolved, and then they got kind of sillier and sillier, and you get more and more comfortable.
Okay.
But my biggest piece of advice is to not overthink it. Just film what you're doing and post it. That is authentic. It'll come across authentic. People will be able to relate to that, your guests that are watching on social media, and the last thing anyone wants on social media is to feel like they're being sold to. So you will rarely hear me on our social media talk about like park in our garage, it's a great value. You should park in our garage because it's really, really good value, and I'm not talking about the value of the garage. I'm talking about really just the convenience of the garage. But you really don't want to be selling people anything on social media. They don't want to be sold to. They want to learn a story. They want to get to know you.
Okay, that's great advice.
Authenticity, hard word, and just film what you're doing.
Right. Awesome. Thank you. I do have one other question that's totally unrelated, but still part of the EDDC. So on the corner of 5th and Peach as you're coming down, there's now a liquor license sign up.
So, yeah.
Is it 4 words or 4 letters with an apostrophe S? And does it begin with a D?
So this is something that Joel has heard from me time and time again. Back in the early days of the EDDC, I was really immersed in those kinds of conversations. I've asked to be a little more insulated from those conversations because, quite frankly, I don't need to know about those things until they're right on top of us. I would say if you do your own sleuthing, it wouldn't take you long to figure it out. Okay,
well, I just drive too fast, even though there's a stop sign. So it just looked like Dave's, and I was hoping that Dave's Diner is coming back. Oh. Well, I mean, it's public knowledge because the sign is up. Fantastic. I'll have to let Gannon know.
It's going to be a fun time.
It will be a fun time.
It's going to be a real fun time.
Yeah.
That's great. What a piece of real estate that is.
That corner is unbelievable.
Yeah.
That whole building is unbelievable.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
And it's got the garage.
Done.
Yeah, one more thing about the garage. One thing that I do want to get across is that I will admit the garage is kind of hard to see, and it's kind of a funny design thing. It was intentional to hide the garage.
Okay.
But I remember one day, I think it was John or Drew. I can't remember which CEO it was, if it was John or Drew. But one day we were like walking back there and we're like, oh wow, this is so cool garage, and we were like, oh shoot, can't see it. Can't see the garage. That's fun. You can see the garage from like 4th Street. You can't see it from Peach Street, which the intention. You don't want to see a garage. You want to see a building. I remember John telling us that you wanted to see a building, not a garage. But now it's kind of funny because Erieites are a particular way. If they don't see the thing doesn't exist. So we're having to.
That is very true.
We're having to retrain Erie folks on, hey, the garage is there. There's 340 spots. Come on in and check it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just backing up to the last question in your answer, I think that one of the things that's important is, you're trying to I think it's intentional. You're trying to attract younger people to downtown, to live in the building, be part of everything that's going on. That is the right track for this group, simply because they put a high premium on quality of life. That's more important to workers now. Everything that I'm reading and everything that goes along with economic development. The other important part is that, the great things have to be in walkable distance. So everything that you're working on just kind of leads to that.
Yeah, it's when the folks come here to tour the apartments, we learn we learned early on when we first started touring these apartments that these were young professionals who were from Erie, had left Erie, and now they're returning to Erie. And that return back to Erie could be a number of things. For me, it was the pandemic. I lost my job, and we wanted to come home. We wanted to be closer to family. So that was my reason to come back to Erie, because my family's here. We're learning that a lot of people are kind of in similar situations. Some of them moved away for a great technology job, and then they sent them home and said, hey, just do this from home now. And they said, well, shoot, I can do this from Erie.
Right.
So now they're moving back home to Erie. So we're finding these young professionals who want to live above a climbing gym, who want to be across the street from a cigar bar so that they can just walk to these things. But that's really what we ended up finding. And I don't know that it was like, when we said that we're attracting those professionals, I'm not sure that was like on a piece of paper anywhere that was like, this is who we need to attract. I think it was like, let's see what these do. And that's what they did. They ended up attracting those younger professionals who were moving to Erie from these larger markets, which is pretty cool because they come inherently downloaded with the fact that they probably need to pay for a garage, which is pretty wild if they want to park in a garage. So there's all sorts of cool reasons to have these large city mindsets moving here to downtown Erie. It's wonderful.
Yeah, you can just feel the vibe when you're walking down the street.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
And
That's
the
cool.
energy of the change that has taken place, and, for Erie, no offense to all of our listeners, but, any type of revitalization is always at a snail's pace.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bayfront was decades trying to get that, right? But, everything that the EDDC has done, it's almost, like lightning speed, even though it's been a couple years, but it's just to drive down at night and see part of the food hall with the facade up, decorated. It's just gorgeous. So, kudos to everybody at the EDDC because it's just changing the vibe.
John always said needed to shock the market back to life, and he was not exaggerating when he said that. It was quite literally like a resuscitation situation here on these couple blocks, and Joel has been here since the very beginning, so he knows what this has all looked like and the change that has happened. There was a McDonald's there.
There was a McDonald's there.
Not that long ago, guys.
Nope.
Right.
We have to remind ourselves that was not that long ago, and look at the transformation.
Right.
Now you can come down here on any given weekend or afternoon and see kids climbing a wall with their families. It's very cool.
Yeah.
It's
And
very
I
cool.
liked the fact that the McDonald's shut down, McDonald's was tore down, you weren't quite ready to start construction, so you could go down and curl. You could,
there's a
do
cool
curling.
pivot, right?
Do you remember
Yeah.
that? Yeah,
I
that was,
do. Yeah.
That was right before I think I started. So that was while I was down in Florida and I was seeing it all. I'm like, that is the most brilliant thing.
Right. I mean, why not use
Why
something
not?
until
Steer into the
right.
cold, right? You
Yeah,
just
right.
Go with it.
Got to embrace the cold. That's
Yeah.
It's literally part of what we do here. So
Well, I want to thank you for coming on. This is a
We're
quick
done?
half hour. Yeah, we're going to be
Holy
coming
moly, is
up
that
on
it?
it. We're doing
Yeah.
the thank yous and all that. My brother is he moved out of the Erie area several years ago. He's a Marine. He works down in DC. He came up here for my wedding, and he met us downtown. And I can tell you that the people that are away and they come back, they're like, "Wow, this I do not recognize this," and that's all part of your work, and we appreciate you for
thanks.
that.
Yeah.
Appreciate you saying that. Thanks for having me, man. I really do. I hope
Absolutely.
I hope to see you down in Magic Kingdom someday. Okay.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
We'll
We
do.
were close, right?
We were. We're like a week off, man.
Yeah,
It was real
That-
close.
That, would have been great. So stick around after the news. We'll be back with the Spice Sisters. We're excited to hear what updates they have going on. You are listening to Community Chronicles Radio on 103.3 FM, 105.9 FM, and 1530 AM. And as always, on the Corey High Ed Facebook page. Or TalkErie.com with the Listen Live button that I push every day at 3 to listen to the Joel Natali Show. We will be back after the break. Spice Sisters, stick around. Welcome back to Community Chronicles Radio, brought to you weekly by Gannon University's Erie Technology Incubator, in partnership with the Corey Higher Education Council. The Erie Technology Incubator, located at 900 State Street, works in the entrepreneurial ecosystem and provides technical assistance through the entrepreneurial process. This show features members of this ecosystem and entrepreneurs in the Erie area. So the second half hour today, we're very excited to welcome back to the studio Margaret and Yasmin of the Spice Sisters. Welcome back.
Hi there.
Welcome,
Hi.
ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Do you want to start, Kathy? They were kind of your project. Give us the background and how you came to be in Erie and what you've been up to. We got to start back because we'll
Right.
pretend that nobody was listening the first time, and now
Well, I'm always
now everybody
glad
is.
to
So.
Right.
talk about us. So,
Yeah.
we've been friends for about 15 years. We started sharing lunches at work. We started cooking together, and then we said, "What can we do that we can, be working together?" And Yasmin, the entrepreneur in the couple here, said, "Let's start a business." And since we are like sisters, we called it Spice.
I'm the younger
Sisters.
sister.
Oh, that's so funny.
She never lets me forget. But you know what? In some cultures, the older sister has a phenomenal amount of respect and love, and so I don't really care. I'm like, go with it. And so we started the company, and first we were selling at farmers markets. My husband retired, and I put him right to work. And then we were, doing this and that. It's been a slow progression. And then I was convinced that Spice Sisters was perfect for crowdfunding, particularly Kickstarter. And so I was researching for years until I found the Beehive. And first person we talked to was Karen from
Pineapple Eddies.
Pineapple Eddies.
Karen Thomas.
Yeah, she had had a successful campaign, and so that's how I found out about the Gannon and the Beehive. And she put me in touch with Kathy, and then that was it. Kathy is like a magnet for Erie, okay? And we came to, we started working with the Beehive, and particularly Gannon and Kathy. And then just to take it forward, we have just completed our successful Kickstarter campaign.
Absolutely.
Woot woot, all of the above. And my husband and I, with our dog, relocated to Erie. It's a wonderful place, and I'm not a 30-something, but I think there's probably, I've met several people my age, retirees, who say, well, where am I going to go now that I'm retired? Erie. It's a beautiful place to be, even with snowpocalypse.
I was going to say, what did you think about that?
I'm from the Adirondack Mountains. Okay.
Yeah.
By March, we could have 20 feet of snow.
Yes, she's always saying, "I'm from the mountains. I
Yes.
can handle it."
It's
Well,
just,
and I was completely overconfident. I had seen so much snow in my life,
yeah,
but I have never seen it all at once.
all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were locked in for a week, and but the rain came.
Yeah.
Now I can see my driveway again.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It was
Yeah.
not bad at all.
I don't mind what's happening today. Just some light
It's
snow
so pretty.
flurries. It's
Oh,
yeah.
it's gorgeous.
Not-
We went by the park on our way in this morning. It was still a little dark. Everything's twinkling and just beautiful.
So don't feel bad about how that kind of hit you hard, because I'm an Erie guy. I was raised out in Lake City, West County, pretty close to here. Driven in weather, from the time I was 16 until now, over 30 years. That storm we have the one in 2017, which
Right.
kind of measures up. But that, I believe, what happened with this storm, it was so bad that it really caught everybody by surprise. It took, I saw the county executive on his Facebook page this morning. They're doing the after, action to see where they did well, where they screwed up, what they could do better. I know it was hard on the city workers, but I believe that they did the best they could. It was really, really hard. Probably one of the harder snowfalls I've been a part of.
Yeah.
And I'm really
30 years.
grateful for the city workers. I think they've done a grand job.
Yeah.
So we talked about, kind of the process and how you met everybody. So what are the products? What is it that you feature, and what are you selling?
Well, we have 6 different spice blends right now, and actually we do have one that's really, really hot. So we have 7, but they are fair trade. They don't have any sugar or salt, and they have no fillers. They're a little packs a punch. So the whole point of the Kickstarter was to work on our packaging and improve that so it can be, be better on the shelves, sit on the shelves better, be more eye-catching. And also the Kickstarter was to help us scale up with better equipment so it doesn't take so long to manufacture our product. So that's what we've been doing.
And they're delicious. I've been to a couple of their tastings where it was, 12-course samplers. And, I am a wimp at heat. My body just says no, even though it's so good, right? But right? Oh my gosh. Every single dish that had their spices featured was delicious.
And a lot of those spice blends, they kind of do double duty. Sometimes you can use it for a sweet recipe, or it can go savory. We have something called Dynamo Dust, which is, I like to call it classic Thanksgiving. We developed it a few years ago around the Thanksgiving holiday, and it's, very savory, no heat, a little paprika. And then we kind of span the globe in our flavors because Margaret and I like to experiment a lot.
And we do like to include different groups and different parts of the world.
That's
Everybody likes flavor, but fortunately, everybody has a little different take. So it's very interesting.
And what's great is they actually have recipes on the spicesisters.com, cafe.com website. And you can look and see what you can make with the spices. Order the spices online. And like the red velvet with the red velvet spritzers with some sparkling wine.
It's
Yeah,
good.
and this
Très
time
yummy.
of year, we just, our Habibi Baharat, and again, like Yasmin said, it's very versatile. If you're from North Africa, you would think, oh, let me rub that on goat. But if you're American, you're thinking, how about some apple cider? It's because it's got all the warming spices and then some. And it's really, really nice as a hot cider.
It's nice in a caramel sauce, too.
Yeah.
It's nice with a lot of things.
This is a great interview to do because, and this is going to be me. I have been negligent. I supported the Kickstarter, and I've been
thank you.
reminded a few times that I need to pick which ones I want. And now,
Are you doing it right now?
well, after the show,
Okay.
I'll stay engaged. But I'm getting an idea of the ones that I would like to pick, and yeah, that's exciting stuff.
Yeah. Black Magic is really good because you can put it in your coffee or tiramisu. Very yummy. I'm so sorry. I'm taking over your...
Now,
Oh,
That's
I
all
like to
right.
hear other people.
what does that do to the coffee? Is it sweet? Does it?
No,
does
it
have a
just
sweet-
kind of amps it up a little bit. It enhances the coffee flavor itself, and then just gives it a little,
It's got a
like,
fruity flavor.
Yeah, it's also really good to make Mexican hot chocolate. 1, 2,
Okay,
3.
that's what I was wondering.
Because it's got coffee, it's got espresso, it's got cocoa, it's got cinnamon, and a lovely chili called chili pasillas, which is not hot.
it's not hot.
It's raisiny and warm.
Yes, and if Kathy tells you it's not hot,
It's not hot.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Because I
Kathy's
still
like
have...
our
We learned
canary.
that.
If Kathy
Yeah.
says it's not hot, you can trust her.
Yeah, that pyro powder, I literally touched a table after they did a sampling and cleaned the table off, and then I touched my mouth. And my
And you
mouth was on
cried.
fire. So it was like one of those cartoon shows where I had to run and get something to drink.
But that's, we intentionally wanted, we love to have something for everybody. So we've got everything from, the red velvet, even though we don't put sugar, the red velvet is actually sweet. It has orange, it has beet, it has, fennel, and it's nice and it's sweet and tasty. And then all the way to the nuclear option, and that is the pyro powder.
And just a little bit of that, right?
Oh, God.
That goes
None
a
for
long way.
Kathy.
No, it's in a baggie on my desk. So in no way, shape, or form can my body touch what's inside of it.
Yeah.
So I'll probably pick that one, but then, yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Frequently, I love spicy food. My body does not.
Yeah.
I've come to the point where,
Yeah.
and my wife, sometimes she's like, "Are you sure you're gonna eat that?" And then in the middle of the night, I'm up and
Yeah, going, oh, but it was so good.
yeah. Sometimes I'm like, nah, it'll be fine. I'll just not feel well. So.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Well, we have options. You don't have to go all the
yeah.
way to nuclear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because of the storm, fulfilling your Kickstarter has put you behind a little bit because of the being snowed in and whatnot. So how is that going as far as getting ready to fulfill?
It's coming along.
We were very fortunate. The Beehive, particularly Kathy, put us in touch with Plastech. And it's a local company. We love doing business with local people. But, this is Erie. It's not mom and pop. This is a world-class business. And so we are getting our new packaging from them.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and it's not just, the storm. It was really interesting for me to see. It wasn't just us that it slowed down. It was the whole city just came to a stop. And but they're really good. They worked with us, and so we're getting that done. Another local company we're working with is Leadhead Printing. And Chris over there, I'm notoriously bad with names, is just phenomenal. He's going to be helping us with our merch, and because we have aprons and chef caps and stickers and stuff like that. So we're putting it all together, and we'll be getting it out. It has put a little kink in the timeline, but we'll be able to pull it off.
And you're thinking like what, mid-January, everything will be shipped out?
It'll all be shipped out at least by mid-January. My
Great.
daughter's
can't
coming
wait.
for a week, and so I'm going to put her right to work. In between trying to get her recruited for Erie, she's a young professional.
Oh,
There we go.
you're helping recruit for
I
Yes.
was
folks
great
like
to
Ra-
hear that first part.
Yeah.
I said, oh.
Yeah, I sometimes get stuck, and I read a lot about economic development and workforce. I spend my time away from this mic, working on workforce and finding new ways. Our population is decreasing. We've been suffering that for a while here in Erie. Most of my work is in Corey, but it's no different there. The population is dropping. I had the opportunity yesterday to go to a listening session with the Rural Population Revitalization Commission. When they make these
Wow,
things,
that's a long
they don't
phrase.
take into account people who have to say stuff on the radio.
Right. It's like a tongue twister.
My goodness. Okay, I got that out.
Here we go.
But this is something that they're experiencing all through the state, and how important it is for things like what Ryan's working on. And it great to hear that you're trying to recruit and get young people here. It's so important. And also, one of the things is in walkable distance, and having an understanding and an appreciation for the people that are helping you come along. And I think that we mention the ecosystem quite a bit on
We
this show.
do.
And it's, finding Kathy was probably the best move that you could have made.
Oh, we
With
think so.
snow notwithstanding.
For sure we
Convinced,
think
you're
that.
right. Yes.
So, the Kickstarter program is still going, right?
Well, you know what? If you make your goal, you can leave it open. And so it's still going. The packages that are available to backers are actually at a discount from what we would normally charge. So if you're interested in some spices, that's a great place to go. And the other place is we are selling on the shelves at the Erie Food Co-op on 26th Street. They've been a really good partner. They gave us our own little shelf. And so all our products are there. And they make, to sell a little here, they make great stocking stuffers, the little spice pouches. And they don't have the new packaging there yet, but those pouches mail beautifully, and they go right in a stocking.
No, you don't have.
Wink.
Yeah, you're allowed to sell on this show.
Yeah,
We're always we're looking for conversions. One of the greatest things that I get to do on this show is hear back sometimes that, wow, we got on the show and there like 15 people called me. So absolutely.
The
You can
last time
tell.
we were on here, I did see a lot of calls back, and people. We were over at the co-op doing tastings. And a lot of the people who came in heard about it on the radio, and that's why they came. So it was wonderful. Good job.
That's great.
Good to hear. So, okay, we have the winter going on, and you mentioned a little bit that it shuts down a little bit. We're approaching Christmas. We're going to get to that. There always is every year a kind of a lull in January, February. It's hard winter here in Erie. In the summer, what do you have anything coming up? Any big things on the horizon?
Well, the horizon for us is once we finish our fulfillment, we are going to continue to work with. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at acronyms.
The Erie Technology Incubator, ETI.
Yes.
They don't make these things easy to say.
They don't.
But fortunately, I have Kathy at my shoulder, and so we're planning to work with ETI to set up a proper sort of a push for wholesale. Spice Sisters is a great fit with mid-sized groceries, particularly food co-ops, because we're fair trade, because we are a small batch, because we are no sugar, salt, fillers. And so putting our focus on our spice blends has made us also easy to ship. And there are thousands of food co-ops in the United States. So neither Yasmin or I have much of a business background.
Sure.
But we're passionate about what we do, how this helps the home cook, how it makes the world a smaller place when you can say, oh, is this what they eat in Mexico?
Right.
Oh, is this what they eat in India? And so we really want to bring it out there. And the ETI has lots of business,
We do.
acumen, and they're going to help us. We're looking to really continue to grow. Erie is a friendly area for growth, and we're all excited about that to come back in a few months maybe and say, hey, we're
Here we
in
are.
all these stores.
Right.
And that's the great thing, as Joel mentioned, is the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Erie. It's just there to really bring everyone together to help you get to the next level. We all work together. It's awesome that, we know what's out there and can easily say, oh my gosh, I can't help you today, but this organization can. Let me make that introduction. And that's awesome to see.
Right.
Really.
Right. And ideas are generated, and
Correct.
even in the context of this show, I have one. Last week we featured Bob and Lauren Hammer from Grammy's Kitchen. They have been through the process now of getting into the country fair stores locally.
Oh, nice.
There is a local component of country fair. They like to feature local products. There could be an opportunity there. They have a whole section of their store dedicated to that. Now, with that said, Grammy's Kitchen makes several different types of Chex Mix with different flavors. the potential for synergy between you two
Oh,
is
right.
there.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
It's you know what we've
Write that
this is why I moved
Absolutely.
to Erie, because there was so much happening here. We went to the Chamber of Commerce. There was a conference.
homecoming?
The homecoming.
You went to the
yeah, the
homecoming.
And we
homecoming.
met so many businesses and made so many connections. And then recently, I don't know who sponsored it, but that series of seminars over at the ETI building.
That would be Global Entrepreneurial Week that
Yes.
you were talking about, Margaret, sponsored by the Northwest Pennsylvania Innovation Beehive.
And completely conceptualized and ran by Kathy.
Yes. Well, all I know is I showed up at 7:30 in the morning for 5. I'm not a morning person. And I showed up 5 days in a row because there was so much good stuff going on. And breakfast was very tasty. So,
From Riri's Cafe all week.
wee! And and I learned so much, but also the synergy, the
Right.
connection, the sitting with a group of entrepreneurial, particularly a lot of women, and that was very empowering.
Yes.
And just fun.
In fact, we're going to be working on, we got a request from one of the ladies that attended all of the seminars and would like to have a gathering once a month of women entrepreneurs.
Oh, here's another one. I second that.
Thank you.
So there are so many opportunities and places where you can go and potentially sell. Last week, the 1020 Collective had a local products fair. I stopped over
right.
there. I made it this year the decision that I was going to step away from the big box,
Yep.
away from Walmart, away from Amazon, and make intentional purposes for local products because. If we don't do that, our friend over at Erie Ale Works, Jeff, has said if you don't buy local, B-U-Y, it's buy local,
Right.
B-Y-E. So it's important to do that. There's still some shopping days left. I would recommend searching out your website. Can you give that to us?
It's spicesisters.com.
Yeah, and we have recipes as well as you can order from there. And we're perfectly glad to drop ship for you.
That's great. I'll have to check out the recipes. We're always looking, you get into kind of a rut sometimes when you're cooking, right? And, my wife and I, we sometimes share the cooking details. She does the majority of it. But, it's like, okay, we took chicken breasts out. What do we want to do? And you get like, okay, we always do this. It would be great to have those recipes and kind of provide that. Now with what Ryan said, one of the cool things would be is to just film what you do. Not just listing the recipe, but actually doing a vlog that you could say, okay, I'm making this with this spice. And, I think that would be interesting.
Well, that's another thing. See, I'm very comfortable in the kitchen. I'm very comfortable telling people what to do. But
she is.
I'm not
In a lovely way.
I'm not comfortable with the
Margaret.
social media.
I get it.
But thank you.
She's very
ETI.
comfortable in front of a camera. It's just
She is.
the tech is not her.
Tech is not my thing, but there are students aplenty.
Yes, yeah. You
You
take
know,
advantage
what you
of
need
Right.
is a
Yeah.
20-year-old. And so there's plenty of them here. And and again, Gannon has hooked us up. And
that
so-
nervousness in front of the camera. Like, you want my honest thing about that? Every show, and this is, what show are we on? 37? 37. I've been doing this almost a year. I still get nervous every time the mics come on and we start the show.
Oh, see, I'm never nervous in front of a camera.
Well, you'll be fine then.
But
Just let the kid run it.
If I'm trying to post that, then
Oh.
a handful of hair. I can't afford this. I'll be bald.
Yeah.
GCAC offers a program in the summertime where it's the Learn and Earn program.
Oh, right.
So they pay the
That's
wages
right.
for the individual. You may be able to get somebody to help you with marketing and communication.
right.
I just got contacted by Kyra about our organization. Do you have a job there? I really don't have the workflow for somebody, but always looking for
I
recommendations.
try every summer
What, with Gannon?
to get someone to help with startups.
Marketing and all that. Yeah, so the opportunity
that's
may be
good.
there.
So
I'll
many
shoot.
opportunities
I'll do
in
I'll
Erie.
shoot that email over.
Thank you.
With Kyra. She may be able to help you out with some
fantastic.
marketing. Just a kid that's good with the camera. You know,
Yeah.
we like Ryan said,
Excellent.
we all have them. They're here, and they're so good now. Like they make really quality
Right.
videos.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, you can find fun videos on their Instagram account, which is
Spice Sisters Cafe.
thank
The
you.
handle. Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
there are recipes and, you know,
And we're going
Us
to be
kind
doing
of
more
goofing
YouTubes.
off.
Yeah.
and-
I'm being mean to Margaret.
She
That-
chases me around with the chili peppers. I'm like,
That seems out of character unless I don't know you.
she's not mean. She's the sweet Spice Sister.
But I can poke fun at Margaret.
I'm so pokeable.
with the wooden spoon.
Well, as always,
again?
I know it just it goes so fast.
Boom.
Ladies.
We appreciate you coming
Yeah.
back.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much. Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've gotten to the point in the show, and I always get yelled at if I don't do the dad joke. And
Let's
this
hear it.
time, let's see. I don't know. We did that one. I was looking for one about cooking. That's not funny.
You have 1 minute.
Okay, how fast is milk?
How fast is milk?
The speed of white.
Ooh, that's good. That might be better.
Oh, Yasmin, that's so good.
It's pasteurized before you know it.
Oh, bum.
Well, thank you, Spice Sisters. This was a great interview. I'm glad to hear what's going on now.
Yeah, happy
And some of the
holidays,
ideas just
everybody.
Yeah.
were rolling in here. That was a fun show to do.
It was
where
a
it's
very
like,
fun show.
We got to get you with the people over at Grammy's Kitchen. I'll send all those emails.
Awesome.
be
Thanks.
great.
So
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you so much.
next week we are off. It will be a show. We're going to take some time for Christmas. We'll be back after that in the new year.
New year.
Looking forward to it. Stick around. Lath and Tina in with the Economic Pulse. See you in 2 weeks.